for something exciting to read while you enjoy some sugary cereal?
Yeah!
Then grab a copy of Mighty Mascots from Alterna Comics! Born from the ashes of a disastrous 3D printing accident, 8 living advertisements have banded together to right the wrongs of this world, led by a former child star. These unlikely heroes are freaks to some, but you will know them as the Mighty Mascots. The miniseries is 3 issues full color and printed on glorious newsprint. This is the fun superhero series that you didn't know you needed. Created and written by Keith Gleason, featuring artwork by Ian Morianto and colors by Anton Bondi.
Ahoy, I can't wait for more!
Mighty Mascots is part of your complete breakfast and comic book reading experience. Only from Alterna Comics.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana and Surrounded by Death. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, man. I literally just finished Moon Knight episode number 5 and then raced downstairs to get this all set up and going. That show was great, dude. Did you watch the newest one yet?
No. I was watching the opening match of Dynamite, and I looked at the watch, and I was like, "Oh crap, I'm running late." So I rushed upstairs, and of course, my laptop, as antiquated as it is, was taking forever to boot up, and I'm like, I always have a plan B. My plan B is always to go to my phone, but
gotcha.
The phone's
is that what you're
problematic
on
too.
Right now?
No, I'm on my laptop right now.
Oh, okay. As I say, it sounds pretty good, and
I've got my earpiece in, so maybe that helps.
Yeah, you sound clear. Like, I guess
less congested too than previous shows.
Yes. No, what I wanted to say, and I don't want to spoil anything because I know it just dropped and people probably haven't seen it yet, but I'm really shocked that Disney. It's very adult. Like it's. Especially this past episode, and I actually think that's a good thing. I mean, I'm actually shocked Disney allowed it.
Yeah.
I mean, they
I was shocked that they ported the Punisher over from Netflix. That was a very violent show.
Yeah, I mean, like that too. Like and putting it on the streaming service and this and that. But yeah, you'll have to watch it and let me know what you think.
Definitely.
I like it a lot. It's one of the best things I think Marvel's done for TV stuff, It's
I think it's my favorite of the shows, of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Moon Knight is hands down my favorite. Loki's a quick second.
Yeah.
And Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye was shockingly good.
Those are all my favorites of the Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, anyone that if we get I don't know if we'll get a Moon Knight question tonight like we will last week, So,
yeah, that's right.
That's why I wanted to get it out of the way up front, But yeah,
and at some point I have a unboxing I want to do.
All right, why don't you start cracking that open? Let's take a look in there.
So it's from a friend of the show, Robert Geronimo. So I'm just going to open it up.
Look at that.
I have no idea what it is. I know I pledged something of his, but we'll see what it is.
I know what it is.
Okay,
Amy actually did an unboxing video this week for same thing that she got from Geronimo. And she's I'm probably put it on the channel, but I probably can't do it until we're back from our vacation next week.
Right, which you guys have coming up soon.
Yeah, Friday we're out of here. It's hard for me, Johnny. I have a hard time relaxing. Do you have that problem?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
I have a hard time
when I do finally relax, it's like I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it is. It's like I can't get out of my head. Like my headspace is telling me, hey, you got this convention coming up that you got to throw, and you got your comics that you're doing. What are you doing? You can't rest.
Every day. I smoke a lot of weed. That helps.
Okay. I need to start doing that.
Dude, for real though, like even just being behind on my Kickstarter stuff still, and I'm starting to get a lot of clarity as to where I feel like I went wrong.
Okay.
And
this is where you learn though. This is where you learn,
and just things I wouldn't do for the future now. You know what I mean? Like promising original content. New original content that's not of the book that I'm promoting.
Well,
I'm never going to do that again. Or if I do,
it's not a bad thing to do it, but you usually want to have it finished before the campaign goes live. You know,
that's my mistake.
That's the huge thing. You know,
yeah,
because I'm considering with my campaign to do a completely new issue if we reach a certain number, and I'm like, that might not be a good thing, but if I could get it done, you know, like I'm going to give myself like a year, so I think it's doable, you know.
That's the thing too, is I thought 8 pages, which is now 10 pages, would have been a lot easier to do, and I'm currently in the position of having to find a new artist. And that's where like so I'm going to have to write a post soon, but I'm waiting to hear back on another artist before I can make the announcement. You know what I mean? I don't want to announce bad news. I want to announce good news.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the problem, is just a lot of it's hurry up and wait. You know?
Yep.
But it looks like I got Wirehead.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
That's
great. I've read that. Yeah, I've read that. It's great.
It was partnered with the Blood Realm.
Oh, Blood Realm. Yeah. So you bought that whole package.
I bought the whole pack. Yeah, nice. That's right. So I can't wait to dip into these. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah. We'll have Robert
so
back
awesome.
soon.
Absolutely.
One thing I wanted to share too with you, Johnny, because you probably haven't seen this yet. The pre-launch page for Mighty Mascots 7, 8, and 9 is live. I literally got this up last week. And just it shows some of the covers. Like if you guys are out there, this is coming soon, probably in July sometime, which is also the same month as Plastic City, because I like to torture myself. But
for real.
Look at this variant cover image by Steve Mardo.
Wow! Look
awesome.
At that thing. That thing's awesome.
Can't wait to see it. This is one of the variant covers that's coming up. Got the trailer. This is one of the covers by Ian, which you get just little snapshots of everything here. If you sign up, you get an exclusive sticker. I'm thinking of doing like a die cut of like C-Rat or maybe I don't know, one of the robots or something. But I also made a quick video if you want to check it out.
Let's fire it up right before we bring people in.
Can you hear it?
No.
Can you hear the music or no?
Nothing. It was silent.
Nothing. Okay, hang on.
I only heard my heavy breathing.
All right, hang on. Let me share this again and see if we can do. I always forget to click that. I wish they would just.
I was just gonna say, while you're doing that, I noticed Ara's in the chat. Happy birthday! Happy belated birthday, Ara.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, dude! All right, let me see here. All right, let's go.
There we go. Awesome.
What'd you think, dude?
That's great. I love that.
I put that together in iMovie really quick. Just grab the images and use so if you guys are looking to make a quick video for your campaigns, think about iMovie. Do it right on your phone.
I don't have a Mac.
Yeah,
I'm an Android guy.
No, I do it right on my iPhone,
videos.
Dude. I made that video on this.
That's awesome that you have that. I'm sure my phone's probably got the same capability.
Probably.
It's just a matter of
finding that right
figuring it out
or whatever. I often edit a lot of the videos for YouTube right on this too.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shuffling between Dropbox and then importing it into your systems and things like that. But anyways,
sure.
So that's coming. That's July. We're looking at to launch that.
Nice.
Issue 7 will be a one and done, and then 8 and 9 is going to be a 2-parter, and it's going to be a bunch of new characters, bunch of new villains. So it's going to be
exciting.
Fun. Yeah, I can't wait. And I'm thinking about if we hit a certain number to add let's go another whole issue. Like, here's like the Halloween special or something.
Yeah. In hindsight of everything I've done so far, that would make me nervous. But
I'm a little,
I think you got it though. Like, I think you've got a pretty good grasp on things.
Well, I'm hoping to have issue 7 completely done before we even launch, but we'll see. We'll see if I hit that, But anyway, so before we bring in tonight's guest, let's just take a quick look at the chat so we get going there.
Got it.
We got my wife, of course. Sebastian's joining us tonight. Keith, Johnny, what's up, man?
Hey, what up, my man?
Ara, of course.
I gotta catch up with Sebastian. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Ara's in the chat. Ara said Wirehead is awesome. I agree. I've read Wirehead. It's great.
Can't wait to read it.
And who is this guy with Keith?
The
beard. We didn't even mention that. The beard's gone.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I know. How long has the beard been gone? A week?
I did it the day after the last show.
Gotcha.
Because of just like I was under the weather and it wasn't great to have it on, and I needed a little bit of a reset anyway. So I'm gonna let it grow back. It's just this is a interim clean shaven face for now.
Ara said signing up now, Keith. Awesome, Ara.
Yeah, I gotta sign up too. I didn't know it was launch,
that.
Man.
It helps you get the numbers up, before launching.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Harry said, will Farmer Brown or Chow Daddy make an appearance in 70? I haven't thought about those two characters, but they would fit right in, No, it's more like my versions of the Jolly Green Giant and Sprout, and then also my take on a bunch of the insurance mascots, and then also the crime dog there. I'm blanking on his name. McGruff. Yeah, McGruff.
Yeah, and I really love that Incredible Hulk spoof poster you have.
Yeah, isn't that great? That's the cover of number 8. Yeah,
that's really awesome.
I had drawn it differently. Like in my thumbnails, it was him kind of holding it up like a Charles Atlas type. But Ian's like, "Can I do the Steranko Hulk cover?" And I was like, don't do it exactly, but the pose of Boxer Bear, I mean, I think that's iconic. You could do something like that, and he definitely
because even that was ripped from Charles Atlas anyway.
Right. So
it's
a classic image,
exactly.
I thought that was great. So, all right, so before we bring in tonight's guest, one of them is Michael Gonzalez, who we've had on the show before, from Rainy Road Media. He just launched his Kickstarter literally, I think, last night. He was telling me in the back room. And his new comic is being drawn by the Mighty Mascots team, Ian and Anton. So,
awesome.
So now, that's really cool. What's that?
Did he glean that reference from you, or did he meet them independently?
You will find out. I don't remember. I think he mentioned it last time he was on the show, but I don't think we ever got into that side of it. And then the other guest, I don't know if you ever had a chance to look at the PDFs I sent you in the email.
No. This was a really busy work
yeah,
week.
I knew it was going to be a little crazy for you this week.
Yeah.
But this guy's name's Drew Lenhart, and he sent a book to me months and months ago to review called Caspian Porter. And it's very like a Buck Rogers type of character,
Cool.
And I love the book. I gave it a great review on the channel. And he's just doing the second one, I believe, now by Kickstarter. His Kickstarter is over, but he's printing it. But it's his first time making an appearance on the show. So it's nice to, just meet him and, see what he's up to. So
yeah, for sure.
So without further ado, let's bring both our guests in tonight. Let's start with our newest guest, Drew Lenhart.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
Not much. And then also Mike Gonzalez from Rainy Road Media. Yeah. What's up, Mike?
Good to see you again, man.
Awesome. So Drew, I know Mike's been on the show before, but Drew, one of the things we always ask our first time guests is, what comic or movie or TV show or cartoon did you grow up with that kind of put you on the path to wanting to become like a comic book creator? Can you point to something that like changed your worldview, or
When I was a kid, I grew up in the 90s with, the X-Men animated series. But what really like got me on the path was I grew up in a small town that had a indie publisher in town. So I got to grow up around that.
What was the indie publisher?
It was called Hall of Heroes. I'm not sure if you heard of that. Yeah. So I grew up where the publisher actually lived, and he had a comic book store as well. Okay. So it was really cool being a part of that, and that kind of stuck with me, as I grew older.
Isn't that where the infamous Ethan Van Sciver got started?
Yeah, it is.
But I remember them. Like when I worked at a comic store back in the early 2000s, and I think they were still around. Or is the store still there, or no?
I think it exists as more of a museum now, I believe.
Interesting.
It's still by the same publisher. I think his name is Alan Stewart or something like that. But yeah, he's not publishing. I think it went kaput in like the early 2000s, and now he just has a museum for all things heroes and comics. And
interesting.
Like yeah.
Huh. Yep. And well, I mean, I guess that name makes a good like museum name, Hall of Heroes,
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm fascinated by that. So you grew up next to this indie publisher and also a store. So did you actually get to see like how comics were made?
I don't really remember it. So at the time they started, I was only like 10 years old. But I was there for a lot of signings and got to see a lot of those guys. Barely remember some of them, but a couple of them I do remember.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And then Mike, I don't remember what your origin movie or comic was from the last time. Do you remember what you said?
Well, I grew up as a turtle, and then I got exposed to some radiation, and I became a comic book creator.
Well, that is a crazy mutation. We're all in this business, so we know.
I was trained by Stan Lee in the art of comic books.
That's awesome.
No, so I just growing up, and I'm an 80s kid, not a 90s kid.
Okay.
So I grew up in that era, late 70s, 80s. Like G.I. Joe and mostly G.I. Joe. You see back here these little posters.
Yeah.
And then I think
that was a fun, exciting time for comics too. Like that's how I kind of bridged like I went from cartoons into comics, because the Marvel was always doing like Transformers tie-in or the G.I. Joe stuff, and that was sort of my gateway drug into the comic scene, and then you start discovering other things like superheroes and things like that, and then you eventually learn that, oh, hey, people make these things,
Yeah.
So
you get a crazy idea that you can make them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is a crazy idea. We all know that in this chat room, and
that fire comes from within us, and the way it manifests is like, hey, I can make comics. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a driving force to all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. So Drew, how did you go from being a fan into you're the writer, right? On Caspian Porter?
Yeah. Okay. I think I kind of just hit 34, 35, and I kind of realized, why haven't I done this yet? I've always kind of dabbled in writing, throughout my life. So
did you want to be like a novelist at all, or
no? I mean, I knew I wanted to do writing and comic books of some kind. I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. And I finally did it about 5 years ago, and I haven't stopped since then. It's been kind of a sickness for me. I just can't stop making things.
You're good though. You're a good writer.
Thank you.
I've read Caspian Porter. I think you gave me the 0 and maybe the number 1. I think.
Yeah. I think might have been last year or something like that.
Yeah. It was very early on when I actually haven't done reviews in a while now, and I've been kind of getting away from it. was like a little weirdness with one of the reviews I did with one of the creators, and I'm like, do I need this headache?
Yeah.
You know? Especially because if people submit to you, and then it's like, do you be honest, or do you like kind of sugarcoat like your opinion? And it's like, I kind of wanted to just take myself out of that situation. Plus, I was kind of doing more videos like towards like doing conventions and things like that. So I'm having more fun doing like those kind of how-to things, you know. I'm thinking we might do some unboxings at some point as well. What were you going to say, Drew?
Oh, I was just going to say, I really did enjoy your videos. I liked how you did the review and Flash did the promotion work for the book. So it's pretty cool.
You know, and honestly, that's why me and Johnny kind of started this channel, is to promote each other. And then, you know, it's kind of grown into this like interview show that, you know, we can't even keep up with it.
It's really just a celebration of loving independent comics. You know, it's the stuff that you don't get from the big two. It's not the same regurgitated characters over and over again. You're getting, you know, new characters from all over the place, from people who are finding their creative voice. And, you know, I find that to be the most fascinating and interesting when it comes to reading comic books, you know?
Yeah, and I think indie is exploding now too. Do you guys feel the same way? Like, I mean, I feel like Marvel and DC are almost
exploding.
Like,
they're imploding.
Yeah, they're imploding.
Yeah.
And I feel like indie is exploding. Like, I think
it's all cyclical though, right? Because if you think about it, this happened in the 90s. The big guys were imploding. Marvel had to sell off all their properties to film companies to keep themselves afloat. But in the meantime, a lot of independent books were getting a lot of exposure. So, you know, these dark horse titles were becoming movies, and The Crow became a movie and became a cult hit too on top of that. So, you know, indie movies shined in the 90s and the early 2000s, and then they kind of dipped in favor of the bigger stuff. And now I feel like we're starting to come back around again, where independent comics are being kind of celebrated once again and almost becoming mainstream, dare I say it.
Yeah. No,
well, isn't that how Marvel in the 60s was kind of like with Stan Lee and them?
Yeah.
They were kind of like small time,
like,
and there were bigger ones, and then they just blew up.
Right. And Stan Lee just kind of took that chance, like, hey, I'm going to just write this story that I want to write. And then that was Amazing Fantasy 14, or is it the
15.
one? What's the 15 with Spider-Man? Yeah. Crazy.
In every instance, you have to look back upon it, though, and even when it comes to now, and a lot of it has to do with that company or that creator connecting with their audience, right? And right now, we're in a golden age of that with Kickstarters, with StreamYard shows, where independent creators can now directly connect with their audiences, and is creating that renaissance once again. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree. So you back to Drew, you started to write a comic, and what was the first comic that you did?
It's called De-Aged, but that one had a bit of a rocky start. I had written the script and lost a few artists along the way, and then I kind of reassessed and started writing some smaller anthology type stories, and from that I released something called Future Sci-Fi Tales, which is an anthology series that I have currently going. So
I saw that on your website. I'll show your website as well soon. And you're kind of like a small publisher, correct?
Yeah, most of it's my own work. I do publish, some other creators' work as well. So I think you might have reviewed Wall Breakers, might have been one that you've done. So yeah.
It's funny too that Wall Breakers too. I ended up just picking up a random, like, I guess it was published at one point by Alterna as well.
Yeah. I think
one of the anthologies.
Yeah, I think part of it was, I believe.
Part of it wasn't the full story.
Right.
And I just happened to pick up that anthology recently, and I was like, wait a second. And I was like, oh, these guys were in here before. I mean, I know the anthology is like 5 or 6 years old, or even older than that. And I was like, oh, so he must have went and republished it with Snowy Works after. So I had a feeling you were the guy behind Snowy Works, but I wasn't 100% sure when I reviewed Caspian Porter. But yeah, you have some cool comics on there. Like let me just show this real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
Fire it up.
So Johnny, he's just like a small publisher himself. This is the website. Got a bunch of different books, and let me
very
see.
Cool.
You got a submissions process there as well.
Yeah, there's
sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just, since it's up here, Tales from the Dispatch. That's a anthology that I run with Indie Comics Dispatch. It's a review website, so that's kind of a cool thing. We get a lot of turnout for that anthology series there.
So this is the book that you write pretty much, and then this is the one I was telling you about, Johnny. It's very Buck Rogers, like
it looks very pulp, which kind of like I dig that. You know what I mean? Because you've got like your your Jungle Girl, and then your space your space adventurer. You know what I mean?
I like that the robot looks a little like that robot from like Black Hole.
Yeah.
Is that what
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Like,
right?
The best way to describe this series is if you like take Han Solo and you mix it with Vincent from the Black Hole and throw them in the land that time forgot.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah.
And this was the other book I reviewed, Wall Breakers, that we were just talking about. That was also Alterna at some point had published as well. And this was a cool story. It was weird, and it was drawn well. It reminds me of like the old Vertigo stuff DC was putting out for a while. And yeah, I mean, you got some great titles here, like and this is DH, the one you were talking about.
Yep.
The artwork on this one looks very like Mike Diodato to me, you know.
Yeah, he's his name is Louis. He's really a great guy. He spent a lot of time with the detail in that book. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I hadn't heard of Snowy Works until like you sent me the book for review, but I spent when I did the review, I looked at the whole website and went over it and everything, and I was like, wow, these guys got stuff going on. So where are you based out of, Drew?
I'm out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, okay. That's probably why, because we're so far away from each other, things tend to be like localized, and things like that. And then Mike, you also do like an anthology, and you have a bunch of titles as well too.
Well, not as many as Drew, but
but you're getting up there.
I did. Well, originally I started just doing everything digital.
Yeah.
And so I had, I did 2 digital anthologies. It was called Ash Can Anthology because it was all in black and white. Those were like sci-fi kind of stuff. Okay. And then later on, there's a guy offered to do the coloring for me, and he colored all of them, and then I printed them all in an anthology called Book of Legend. That was the one I did last year. And this is the one I'm doing now.
Is there a link to your comics? Oh, there is. Book of Legend right here. Yeah, I just got this one. I backed your. Was it a reprint campaign you were doing?
No, it was just. No, it was what. So originally I did them on Kickstarter to get money to fund printing them because they were already done. Okay. I just wanted money to print them. And then later I took all of the books to Indiegogo and had where you can just get the books that were already printed. And then that was that Indiegogo campaign.
Nice. Yeah, I backed this when you had that live, and I got it and read it. I really liked it. I something about anthologies. Because you never know what you're gonna get with the stories. Johnny, you've been a part of a lot of them as well.
Yeah, I've done quite a few anthologies. From a creator's perspective, part of my motivation for doing them was to learn short form storytelling. The other part of it was, I liked having a high value item at my table that was a collection of works. So instead of selling floppies, $5-10 here and there, I now had an item that was like $30 on my table that I could sell. And that got me to my table number a lot quicker. And then the last aspect of it was that I found myself collaborating and in these works with a lot of extremely talented people. And it just kind of put me in a few networks, and it allowed me to meet a few really awesome, talented creators and to work alongside them. And I thought that's really awesome too,
Yeah, definitely. Look at, we got George in the chat tonight too. We'll be having those guys back probably at the end of
Those
the
guys
month
are always fun.
George and Sam. We always have a blast with those guys.
Catch
on
the
show.
craze.
Catch the craze.
I'm a dudester.
What's that? Oh, you
said,
want?
I'm a dudester.
Nice. Those guys are great, man. They're so much fun. And then let me see. We got Tate saying, I can see how that would be the case. Shame that some creators can't take on his feet. That must be when I was talking about doing reviews.
Yeah.
That's the problem with being
Devil
a
Flyer.
creator.
What's up? What's up, Devil Flyer? What were you gonna say, Johnny?
Just when you can't take a negative review, a lot of it has to come from the fact that writing and creating is so personal, right? So they almost take it too personally when they're like, "No, this is your work. Don't take it as a personal assault."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kayla's in the chat. Hey Kayla, what's going on? Good to see you at Wicked 2 weeks ago. Devil Flyer said, "Nice EC Comics look." And then she said, "Johnny C hit the nail on the head. It's very pulp looking."
I think she meant pulp.
Pulp looking. Oh, gotcha. Pulp. Oh yeah, she just said it. Pulp stuff with eyes. And then let me see. She said, "Hey Keith, glad I could catch you live." Yeah, glad you're here. But go ahead. What were so?
Sorry.
Yeah, I think we were talking about anthology. I think that is a great way for indie creators to get started as well, to be able to tell short stories. Would you guys all agree with that? Or
Yeah. I think what a lot of first-time creators will want to create this big expansive universe, when I really think I really think a good spot is to slow down, start small, and then build it up from there. And I made that same mistake too, and I started a little too big, and then I realized quickly I need to really craft my writing first and then go do the big stuff.
I think all of us make that mistake.
Yes.
Every single one of us want to come out the gate.
Yeah. And then
be epic.
Well, then
we all come out the gate swinging.
And the classic first time blunder too is you got 10 pages, right? So your story's going, and then you realize I have to wrap this up in a page. So it's the last page is 15 panels, with tons of word balloons everywhere, and it's just I think that's the classic mistake you make as an indie artist and writer.
That's just a commonality amongst us. We all have that first one. That's the one that we want to do. That's our magnum opus. And, we all terrorize artists about doing it and getting it done and being committed to a 120 issue project or something.
I never that's the one thing I never really did, though. I never got into anthologies or submitted to them. I kind of wish I did. I started right off with a 3-issue miniseries, which is what you were saying, Drew, not to even do that. You come out swinging, you want to do all, and it's true, because it took me 5 years to make those 3 issues. It was it was way too long, to do it all. But that's where you learn, though. It's you learn from those mistakes, and and I look back at those comics, they're okay. I could see all the stuff you've learned since then not to do, and but there's moments in it that you still kind of like, and so yeah, I totally hear that. And then Mike, you have a new Kickstarter with my Mighty Mascots artists. So tell us a little bit about that.
I snagged your boys, man.
Well, they are for hire, so so I don't mind.
Well,
I don't mind sharing.
I asked before I had you guys on, is this something that you got from reference to Keith after seeing Mighty Mascots, or was this something where you kind of were eyeing them already?
No, actually, I had Mighty Mascots. I had bought the first issue, and I had bought the giant issue. But when I was developing this project called GunEngine Zero, I was working with several different artists. This takes 5 or 6 years to do this whole project, and they all kind of fell through. And so I was looking for somebody else, and I saw Ian's art on Facebook, and he had something on there. I think it was just a Wolverine or some different things, and I was like, wow, this is really nice. I saw some of his work, and then I just contacted him. I said, would you be interested in doing this? And we talked, and then later on, I looked at more of his stuff. I think I went to his website or something.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Mighty Mascots stuff, and I was like, oh shit. Like I have this comic. I was like, I have the freaking comic.
That's great.
And then so he started doing some character designs and stuff for me, and I had another a lady from Egypt actually who was going to do the colors.
Okay.
But she wasn't able to produce the look that I thought really would this concept needed. Okay. So I told Ian, and then he said, "Oh, I know a guy." Well, he suggested a couple people, and then one of them, he said, "I know a guy, and let's see what he can do." And he showed me some of his work, and it wasn't Mighty Mascot stuff; it was some other stuff. And I was like, "Wow, this is really good." So let's get him. So he got him. So then later, once I saw like his name and I saw the thing, when I was looking more into it, I was like, oh my God, this is the same two guys from Mighty Mascots.
Well, those guys work so hand in hand together well.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. Like I know there's been times where Ian's finishing like 4 pages and Anton's already starting on the first of the 4, and it's like, they work so. I think they live maybe close by to each other or something,
I don't know. But they're definitely good together as a team.
Oh my God, both of those guys together, they complement each other. Like the colors and the artwork just looks so nice. So your book seems to be, and just looking at it, is it like a throwback to something like a kaiju kind of story? Is that
well?
I'll
tell you what. If everybody looks on Drew's screen up above his left shoulder, all the way up there on the wall. No, the other side. Your left shoulder.
Oh, right over here.
Yeah, up there at the top.
Okay.
Of your wall right there.
Yeah.
Is a book called Rom.
Yeah,
Rom.
Oh my word! I saw that. I saw him in the back of my head. I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Rom, and I was gonna say that, and sure enough, clever eye noticing it about over Drew's shoulder too. Like, that's awesome.
So that's how it started. It was I was living in China, and I was thinking about getting back into the comic book biz. I had read about Mark Millar, how he was trying to get into Marvel, and one of the things he did was try to take like these C-list characters that Marvel wasn't publishing at the time, and come up with concepts for them. He'd pitch a new concept for them, like a reboots or whatever. So I thought, okay, maybe this is something I can try. And one of the characters that I always liked as a kid was Rom. Yeah. And this is before I knew that, I found out that IDW had rebooted the character already. So I had just come up with some ideas for how to reboot this character. And then I found out that, IDW had already rebooted it. And then I was like, well, I'm never going to get work for Marvel anyway. So why am I bothering doing this? But is there a way that I can take this, what I've come up with, and kind of shift it over and make it into my own unique character? And so that's what this process has been for like the last 5-6 years.
Oh, very
cool. Started off as a reboot of Rom, and it's become something kind of like totally different.
Something else. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Cool.
To GunEngine Zero right there.
Nice. I like the name too. How'd you come up with the name?
So it's kind of tells you a little bit about what he actually is. GunEngine. He is basically an engine for a gun, and Zero means he's the first one, and he's actually the only one.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like it's.
I saw some of the designs. I'll bring up the Kickstarter at some point too, and we'll look at the video and everything. But I looked through the page when you launched, and Ian's designs are fantastic. It looks very. I mean, it looks similar to Mighty Mascots, but different too. It's like more of his serious, superhero
tone
stuff. Yeah,
there's a differentiator in tone.
Definitely.
Like the art's the same, but the tone is very different.
Yes, yeah. And I love that about him. I love that he could do that. And then Drew, Caspian Porter. What was What was you said you were inspired by like Han Solo? Is that where you kind of began with that character,
or? No.
Okay.
So,
well, I like that he's very flawed.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what makes a good character.
He's also an asshole, so that's the best.
I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
So actually, it was like maybe a couple years before I had released the first issue. I had a cover commission by the same artist for another book, and one of my requirements to the guy was like, I don't know, just give me a 1950s spaceship sitting in a jungle, just landed, a spaceman walks out, and he's met by a T-Rex. So he drew that and drew the Savage Woman, and I'm like, man, I got to make this into a series or something, or a one shot. Really? So yeah, that's literally what it came.
So you started with an image and then built a series around it. Oh wow,
cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yep. I can't even like picture doing something like that. That's very interesting. And
it's
so
awesome that's where you found inspiration through a single image. It just opened up everything for you,
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you pull any of his traits from specific areas? Like, is there certain characters you like that you kind of like became the voice for Caspian, or?
No, it really just, obviously, the Han Solo type character,
right,
but,
right.
I don't want to go and copy the Han Solo type
right, but you want to make somebody that's like kind of like a pirate type, or,
So
Han Solo is an archetype, though. I mean, you have to think Han Solo, Buck Rogers, Indiana Jones, that character is kind of like a genre unto itself almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I tried to add a little bit of comedy to it, and obviously make him more of a jerk, like a bumbling idiot of sorts.
Yeah, that's good. How long? How I know you have 2 issues out of it. How do you
3.
envision it as an ongoing, or do you have a finite end to it, or?
I actually have issues 0, 1, and 2 done. Issue 3 is coming soon. 4 probably later this year. But to answer your question, I'm gonna continue this as long as I got stories to tell. Like right now, I kind of envision this as the science fiction part, and I'd eventually like to shift it to maybe another genre and kind of do something completely different and off the wall.
With the same characters, though?
With the same characters, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that you kind of have, plans to keep going as long as the story's there, Yeah, my wife said Keith was inspired for the Mascots by a t-shirt. So inspiration comes from many places.
It does.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. And you were mostly inspired by Rom, you said, Mike?
Yeah, that was initially like the general concept came from that, but there's also when I was growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, the Japanese sci-fi was really big in America. Things like Mazinger,
Super Sentai or whatever.
Super Sentai, which became Power Rangers. The what else? I mean, Gundam. There's thousands of Robotech, G-Force. Battle of the Planets thing.
All that
that kind of stuff. I really love that stuff, and so that's one of the things that I always wanted to do, a story that had kind of like that visual aesthetic to it.
Yeah.
And that sort of relates to like why he looks the way he did, why he looks the way he does. So he's like a sci-fi kind of superhero. It's like a classic, taking like classic tropes from sci-fi like that, but the story will have like modern twists and things to it. So
I like that. Do you envision that to be like a mini, or are you gonna do an ongoing?
This one's gonna be. It's looking like it's gonna be 7
issues. Okay.
I might make the last issue, the 6th issue, a giant. Okay. Depending, because the finale is pretty epic. But so in general, I like to write finite stories. You get in, you tell a specific story, and then get out, go to something else. But definitely, if there's enough interest in this character and everything, there's going to be possibility of more stories with some of these characters, because not all of them will survive.
Oh, interesting. So there's some real stakes involved here. I like that.
I like that.
One thing I wanted to say about ROM, it's crazy how that was a toy that kind of like the comic outlasted the toy by how many years? Like, I mean,
a lot.
That comic went for how long?
Like G.I. Joe,
100
right?
issues, 100 or more, right?
Yeah, it's almost 100, I think. I think it was like 70-something issues.
Yeah.
It's funny that his journey went from Marvel to Hasbro to IDW. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the IDW launch didn't connect with people the same way, just because I think with the ROM Marvel comic, the cool thing about it was that he was in the Marvel universe, like fighting the Hulk and things like that, like
X-Men.
Where it's like, what is he gonna fight in IDW? Like the keys from Lock and Key,
My Little Pony.
Like there's not really anything there, Just I think it's part of
Pony is an alien.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So yeah, I definitely want to highlight you guys a little bit here. So I definitely want to show off the GunEngine Zero Kickstarter a little bit, and then I'd also like to show, the Snowy Works site again and go through the books and see, find out what those are about. So let's take a look at GunEngine Zero first. Let me make sure I got my how long is the video, Mike?
This video is only a minute long. It's basically just sort of like a teaser to kind of give you the backstory that leads into.
Shows you a bunch of the images from the comics and things like that.
Not really. It kind of just gives you some background into the characters and what leads into what we're going to see in the book.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Well, let me run it anyways. I mean, it's only a minute. So.
Beautiful bean footage.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
In the beginning, there was balance, order within chaos. But then came the Vrak, an insidious horde so vast it blotted out the stars, sweeping across the galaxy, overwhelming all they encountered. They were an unstoppable force, until they met an immovable object. A race of defiant humanoids known as the Abel. Their endless war ravaged entire galaxies. Billions died. In one last desperate push for victory, the Abel created a sentient weapon fueled by a terrific energy. Its singular purpose was to annihilate the Vrak from every corner of the universe at all costs. It was called GunEngine Zero.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Love that. Love
that. Dude, that reminds me of like the old anime intros. Like, is that what you were going for there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like I was saying, these things are like you'll see if you scroll down in the campaign, these are the things that inspired this whole idea. Was all like the Japanese sort of sci-fi and anime and all that kind of stuff.
I was gonna say the voiceover effect, like for some reason my head kept going to Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
I was waiting for Ken Shearer to come out and chop a building in half.
A little,
you know what I mean?
I mean, look at this character. It's awesome. Oh, and he even did the character sheets for you too.
That's pretty cool. I can see how he could have started out as an update of Toaster Head. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny you said that, because there's actually a character in the story that calls him a big toaster.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. I mean,
that's a nice little throwback to ROM, you know?
Yeah. Well, look at these awesome
he had
character
like these
designs.
things on his. Well, he's based on a motorcycle racing suit.
Okay.
That's kind of what I did before, was doing this as a motorcycle mechanic. I also worked on at racetracks and things like that, so I was around that a lot. And if you see when they get all their gear on and everything, they kind of look like some kind of spaceman or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, so that's basically what, like,
That's
his
cool.
head looks like a helmet, that kind of thing.
That kind of also reminds me of that Charlie Sheen movie, The Wraith.
Yeah.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm talking about? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, look at these pages by Ian and Anton. I mean,
They're gorgeous. It's such
right?
beautiful work.
So good. The how far along is the book, Mike?
So what they've done so far, what I paid them to do already, was just the 6 pages that you see on the Kickstarter. That's basically all the money I've got now. With all the other books I've done, I'm kind of like, tapped out. So that's kind of the whole point of going to the Kickstarter is
right.
And if you want to see something real quick, if you scroll right back up, we were talking about how Ian and Anton were. Go back down to where you see that right there.
Yeah.
That thing. Okay. Now you see that image here. I'm going to show you. This is what Ian drew with his line art, because I think he misunderstood what I had written in the.
So he
just
he
like
put
an
an Egyptian
sarcophagus.
An Egyptian sarcophagus. Yeah, I see that.
So then I talked to Anton and I told him, well, it basically just needs to be like a box that's covered in like seaweed and all barnacles, all this kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. So he went and did that digitally for you?
Yes. I mean, it's just amazing.
Nice. Yeah, you couldn't even tell like that was.
It's like good tattoo cover-up work.
Yeah.
Well, there's been times I've had to do similar things with them. I try to give them all kinds of pictures and like any kind of reference that I can just get my point across on what I want.
Yeah, I got hundreds of pictures and stuff.
Yeah, right. But the action and these guys are great. I'm absolutely shocked that they aren't working for Marvel or DC. They're really good.
Yeah, he's great with like the creating depth.
Yeah,
different planes and stuff.
Sure.
There's a lot of action, very dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. And he's a quick artist. He's really good. But even look at all the action happening here. I love this creature. Is that what is this one of the enemies for the
I can't tell you. Okay. That's a secret.
Okay. We have to read the book.
So that's one of the things about this. Even though it's action adventure, there's still a lot of kind of mysteries and twists and turns about things. So even in these first 6 pages, I wanted him to do these 6 pages because I wanted people to think that they know what's going on. To assume that they know who is who and what is what. Then once you actually get to the story, you're going to see that things are not as they seem. Gotcha. And this is one of the major themes of the story, is that the people aren't what they seem. The good guys and bad guys aren't what they seem. And the whole story itself is not kind of like what it seems.
Gotcha. Kayla said, that's a cool trailer.
Hells yeah.
She also said, gives me Code is that Gaius vibes mixed with Shin Tetsujin 28 vibes.
Oh,
I'm assuming that's anime. Is that anime?
I remember that from Tekken.
Oh, okay. And then she said
yeah.
she loves the colors on that. Yeah, I gotta agree. The colors are.
I
mean,
great.
Anton is amazing. He's an amazing artist on his own too. But he seems to be doing all the colors for Ian. But yeah, so what about your perks on this? What kind of perks?
I was just going to ask, if you had to recommend a tier to somebody, what would you go with?
Super fan.
All right, let's take a look at
basically that. What I do is try to keep it super simple. We got 4 tiers.
Okay.
One is just a PDF for the people like overseas, whatever, or people that like PDFs.
Good call.
Number 2 is just the book itself. Super simple. It's $12, includes shipping. The third is a retailer. For anyone who's a retailer, give 6 books at a 40% discount, and also it comes with an 18x24 like promo poster that will be folded in with everything. Since it's a series, and that's by JC Grande. That's the exclusive art just for that poster. I don't use anything else. So what I figured is, since it's a series and it may take, I don't know, 2 years, whatever, to do the whole thing, if comic shops will like promote it in their shop, that might help to, keep it going for this whole time. So I'm offering that for the shops. And then the last one is the super fan. Basically, this is like everything that I have to offer that's related to the GunEngine Zero, because I have other books too.
Okay.
But
So it's
everything
just like the Rainy Road Media Super Fan Pack. It has everything you ever made.
Got everything.
So all you do is just click one time, you get everything, and you can choose. Like I got this shirt and the other shirts. You'll get to choose which one you want. And and then whenever we have some stretch goals. So whenever we unlock stretch goal, everybody will automatically get it.
Get everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. That seems like a lot of stuff for 150. You get stickers, that includes you get mini prints, you get all these books you've made in the past.
Those are metal trading cards. Those are
metal trading. Wow.
Yeah, they're
nice.
They're like what I've been doing is with every book we do, we make a metal trading card version of the cover.
Okay. Yep.
So I figured keep on doing that to make it sort of a collectible thing. Yeah. So in the future, so every time we'll get
that's what Alterna's doing right now too with their campaigns. They do.
Yeah,
like
I got
one or two. Did you get the cards? Yeah, nice.
Log and
what was the other one? The other one's Mr. Crypt. Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to get mine.
Yeah, who's he printing these with? Do you know?
I don't know. I'd have to ask him. They're nice quality though.
Yeah, they came out really nice.
I bet if you asked him on Twitter, he would tell you. He's.
I don't have Twitter.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah, this looks great, Mike. I wish you luck with this. I put it on. I checked. What is it? The remind me thing, so that I can back this before it ends. I want to definitely snag a copy of it. Yeah, it looks great. And I think the less tiers is nice, because you go to campaign, there's a million of them,
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys ever seen like Brian Polito's campaign.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's horrible. That's,
there's a million of them,
choose?
Right? Yeah, yeah, it's too much. Like I even with mine, I'm gonna be doing one in July. I'm thinking maybe 8 or 10 perks at the most, and then just do everything as like add-ons or something, It's just it's too much.
Yeah, that's what I have here. It's like so if you got like the book, but pretty much everything is available as an add-on. So you can do like a la carte thing. So you can get the book, and like a couple people have they got the book, and then they got the trading card and the metal trading card.
Oh wow.
And stuff like that. So you can get whatever you want. Mostly the Superfan does have a couple of exclusive things though, to make it more kind of like collectible.
Gotcha. Are you are you going to be doing any of your other projects while this one's going on, or are you just focused on GunEngine Zero for the next year or so?
Well, that's a good question, actually. Yeah. So yeah,
I know.
I got doing some artwork is being completed for a horror anthology that I want to do for this Halloween, and almost all of it's done. I would say like 80% of the book is already done. So I want to do that one, but it really kind of just depends on how this campaign goes, because this GunEngine Zero project is like the biggest thing for me. Like the ones that I did last year were kind of to set up this one.
Yeah.
To show people, that I can do the stuff and I get everything out, and you can trust me, and I'm serious about it. And those were already done anyway. The books were already done. I was just trying to get money for the printing. But this one, it's each book cost me about like $4,000 to make, and that's with me not making any money or anything. That's just the pure production cost, and
that's the
to pay taxes, to pay Kickstarter, all their stupid fees.
Yeah, that's the rub with making comics too. It costs money.
It's a lot of money.
I completely overlooked taxes on my first Kickstarter campaign.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, I was shocked. I was shocked when I went through my TurboTax. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yeah. But what can you do? Like even like other stuff, I'm under on it, but that's the learning curve. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How about you, Drew? What's your experience has been with Kickstarters and things like that?
So far it's been pretty positive. I haven't really had any big issues. I've had a couple gotchas, usually mostly with like shipping or something like that.
Yeah, the overseas stuff
Yeah,
is killer.
that I had one where I made a mistake and for like digital backers, you usually have that digital tier, and then I had physical add-ons. Well, I had somebody from Australia do the digital tier, but did a physical add-on which didn't have any shipping attached to it. So then I was like, oh man, shipping to Australia is horrible. It's like $80.
Right. No matter what you ship. Yeah, exactly.
But
oh man, that sucks. So you just
yeah.
had to take that hit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's, I don't know. It's like a live and learn. But you've done a few, right? You've done a few.
Yeah, I've done 5 so far. Yeah.
Have they all been successful?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, very good, man. Good job. Yeah, and now one thing I'm curious about too, and we've seen this trend with a lot of crowdfunding. Are you seeing with each one that you do, the numbers are rising, like you're getting more backers, more money coming in? Is that really
so like, I don't know about Indiegogo, but like Kickstarter, like your previous campaigns, you can still reach out to those people, so it's like another marketing tool. So like
you can do that on Indiegogo. You can even download all that info on like a CSV spreadsheet. I don't know if Kickstarter does that, but you can take all those emails and kind of shove them into like a newsletter or however else you want to use it.
Yeah. So like when I launched my last campaign, the first thing that I did is I did updates on the old campaigns with the links for the new stuff. So
especially if you got people backing and it's like, here's the new one,
Yep.
It's awesome. Yeah. And I wanted to take a closer look at some of your stuff as well. Did you have anything in particular you wanted to talk about? Any comic that you're excited about? Or?
Just bring it up here and we'll go through them here if you'd like.
Okay, yeah. Want to just go through the comic section?
Sure. Okay. Future Sci-Fi Tales, the first one there, Spatial Void. We did a campaign on that one. Late last year. That was a pretty good success there, where I brought together 6 creative teams, and we all worked throughout the year to put our 10-page story inside that book. And we just fulfilled this a couple months ago. So that was a fun project.
And that was Tales from the Dispatch, another anthology as well?
Yeah, that's the one I was mentioned earlier, where I partner with another website called Indie Comics Dispatch.
Oh, yes, right. You said they were a podcast?
Yeah, they have a podcast, and they do indie comics reviews, and we do this. Cool. We do this yearly. Usually about November we start taking submissions in, and then like we finish up around March, and then we put the book together and get it out in June. So
oh wow, so you partner with them and they kind of help you get creators for it?
Yep.
Awesome. Johnny, this might be another place you can submit. I don't know if you had any sci-fi ideas in your mind, but
that we actually accept any genre for that anthology.
Oh wow, really?
FYI.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you now if a creator comes in and does an anthology with you, do you guys give any kind of compensation, or do you give copies of the book, or is there what's it like if I wanted to come to you with an 8-page story? Is there any other incentive for me besides just getting it published?
For the Tales from the Dispatch, we do something a little different. We kind of have a contest for like the top 3 stories in the book, and we'll put those stories, in the front of the book, kind of as your win. We give those top 3 people, a physical copy of the book.
Okay.
For that book, we're not trying to make any money on that. I believe there's a specific charity for making comics. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but any profits we donate to them.
Oh, really?
So,
that's nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So we do release it digitally for free. Anybody can go download it.
Wow.
So you
can download it right now from your website?
Not on here.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I think
no problem.
I think if you do click one of those links right underneath the cover, I think it should be in there.
Oh, like
yeah, there's links there. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys are on Global as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
That's what we feel like that's going to be like the next big digital reader website. We've had those guys that run it on our show a couple times, and I like what they're doing there. You know.
Yeah, I think they're hands down one of the better platforms out there.
Big time. Yeah. I feel like there's, I never joined their. I did join their Discord, but I just cannot be on another like social media thing, so I don't participate in it much. But I think they are.
I don't do anything, unfortunately.
Right, but they're on like the cutting edge of like what's cool and what's hip, and then it's also comics. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that's what I liked about them. It seemed like a cool.
Yeah.
So anybody creators out there, check out Global Comics.
Yeah, every time I log back onto their site, they're expanding and they're growing, and I'm seeing new, bigger companies that are getting involved with them, and it's very cool. I like everything I see with Global Comics.
Yeah,
and I put go ahead. I'm sorry, Drew, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna say they really need to get an app. Yeah, I think that's what they need to work on.
Yeah,
that'll make it. They'll be solid if they do that.
Yeah, an app would be a game changer for them for sure.
If they did something the way like Substack works, like where it's like you get an app and then it's like here's it's almost like that aggregate, like a Comixology, and it's like here's all the books I get, and there's a ton on there for free. Like I even put like the first issues of both my older minis on there for free, and those still get a lot of hits,
Yeah.
Which is
part
nice.
of my digital fulfillment included a code for Global Comics to try to push people to that platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I forgot about that, where you can make the promo codes and put it out there for people, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing a lot. I hope it gets a lot bigger, and kind of takes over Comixology, which
please do.
Comixology is kind of a trash heap.
Especially since they merged in with Amazon. It's just like
I hate that.
They took away all of us what is it called, Comixology Submit creators. Like they nuked everybody's books, so everybody has to go on there and resubmit their stuff. So out of protest, I'm not doing it this time around.
I wasn't getting much from my Submit stuff. Like I would get the quarterly report. It'd be like one or two books. Yeah, exactly, Mike. And it's like
you know what they did? I got it right. I got it right here. They sent me a check after like 5 years from all the stuff that was bought on Submit from people, but they wrote the check to Rainy Road Comics. So I can't cash it.
And
I complained about it for 2 years, and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll do it, and never got anything. So fuck Amazon.
Oh wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe they did that to you. Yeah. Oh my god. But the other thing I hate about Comixology is when Alterna was distributing through Diamond, they also were on Comixology, and all of everything that's on there that's sort of mainstream or even small press was immediately pirated. Like I found Mighty Mascots 1, 2, and 3 on pirate websites, and it was like, I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, I made it, I'm being pirated, right? But then you look at the numbers, like the first issue was downloaded like something like 2,000 times, and it's like,
wow.
Yeah, and you start thinking about like, oh my god, if they just paid for that, that would have put a at least a little check in my pocket. It's like I can see why people get mad about that stuff, because it's like cutting into your income. But Pete was like, well, those people aren't going to buy it anyway, so and I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So but anyways, so back to your books here, Drew. So tell us a little more about let's go through the list here.
Oh, okay. So the Monsters Cleanup guy there off to the right. I haven't updated my site in a while, so I haven't listed the new version. So I released the official version of the Monsters Cleanup guy, a few weeks ago, and it's a 24-page black and white. So that one was a fun one to work on. It's about a guy where he was hired by the monster community to clean up their mess. If they cause a problem, he goes and he cleans it up. So there's a few twists and turns there. I can't give any more of the story without completely blowing it. So
sounds a little bit like Damage Control. Remember that book from Marvel where it's like the cleanup crew after the superhero battles?
Yeah,
I like that. And we've already talked about Wall Breakers. What's this Kalzer's Clock? That one looks kind of funky.
So that's kind of my take on I tried to make that kind of like a homage to like a 70s Marvel comic, and it kind of ended up feeling more like an EC Comics, but it's more of a 22-page story about a guy that kind of finds a time traveling clock, and he kind of runs into an issue and things like that. That's cool.
I do get the Marvel 70s vibes, especially like a Doctor Strange. Like it looks like those
Doctor Strange. He feels very tripped out.
What was that artist's name? Was it Brunner? Like the guy that used to do those covers for Howard the Duck and Doctor Strange, I think. But that's what it looks like. It looks like a little Gene Colan kind of
I'm going to say Gene
influence a little bit there, you know?
Yeah,
so I get that. It looks very 70s Marvel. This one looks cool. This one looks very Jack Kirby kind of cover.
Yeah, that artist, great couple. It's a husband and wife
oh,
team
really?
there. And yeah, that cover was kind of came out of, I think Thor Ragnarok came out, so we were kind of going for that cosmic feel to it. Everything else on this list here is mostly anthology other than De-Aged. And,
so these are even stones?
It's that one is more of a all the stories and stones are all more connected in that particular universe.
I like
Are all the anthologies other creators that you brought in with you, or do you have an anthology that's all you?
First issue is all me. From 2 and on, it's a mix of my own work and other creators. Yeah.
Cool.
Expedition Zombie.
So you see that cover right there where it says Future Sci-Fi Tales #4. That's the cover that inspired Caspian Porter right there.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I love stuff like this. I like I always loved Adam Strange and characters like of that nature.
Rocketeer.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
Flash Gordon.
These are great. Yeah. I love these covers. Have you tried distributing through Diamond to get your books out there?
Not through Diamond yet. They're kind of stingy on their marketing plan, and I just wasn't quite there yet. I am kind of starting to go through some smaller distributors right now. I joined a group of other creators called the Savage Sandbox, and we're getting into that distribution side of things right now. So
that's not a bad idea, and try to it seems like the one thing that's happened because of the pandemic is it's broken up like that Diamond monopoly. So there's all, now DC, you have to go to DC to get your books.
Yeah.
You get a Marvel now. And, so everybody's getting into this habit of ordering from multiple distributors. So that might be a good plan to, get stuff out there.
And there's a lot of smaller distributors right now kind of popping up that are kind of got their foot in, 10 to 20 stores and growing. So it's kind of a good spot to get in right now to kind of grow with them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Do you, is there any name you want to share, or is it like sort of just do a Google search?
Comics Mainstream's one that they're mostly on the West Coast that are starting to slowly get bigger. And I think Maverick Distribution is another one that's kind of out of the California area. So
gotcha. Yeah, just for any, because we get a lot of creators that listen to the show and things like that. They might be looking for something like that. Because I've distributed with Diamond on my own before Alterna, and I didn't have a great experience. I had a lot of miscommunication issues with them.
What a shock.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I remember trying to get an ad for their Diamond previews, and that got screwed up, and then they ended up not getting an ad. So it was like, oh my God, you know, it was just like, I think a lot of stuff hurt the book, you know, coming out. And I had a lot of trouble with them trying to get them to do single issues where they just wanted graphic novels at that point. And so we did a graphic novel instead. And it was a lot of nonsense. So like, I'm kind of happy for like Indiegogo and Kickstarters, you know, selling it direct to people. You know, it's going to somebody. It's not sitting somewhere on the shelf, you know. I think that's
and it's fun too. I think the crowdfunding is a lot of fun and connecting.
Yeah, and especially you're like a vet at it now. You got like 5 of them under your belt, you know. So it's like, why not? I think your books look awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Like I said, I've read a couple of them, and I recommend you know, buying some of these, especially Caspian Porter. And then this Wall Breakers was pretty cool if you like horror stuff, and some of these other books look really good. So yeah, so look forward to seeing more stuff from you down the road. Are you what are you working on now?
I was gonna say, what's the future hold?
I'm trying to take the summer off because I have been doing too much lately with comics. Issue 3, we're wrapping up issue 3. We'll probably hit that on Kickstarter in July, and following up with issue 4 for later this year. And I got a couple small anthology stories I was just working on in my spare time. But,
awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say people should hit up your newsletter because you know, I'll sign up as well for I don't know if I'm getting your newsletter or not, but you know, I'll add my email later. And
thank you.
Just so I can get,
the links will be in the video too for people to check it out.
Yeah, I think I put your website down in the description for people to check out. And like I said, I recommend Caspian Porter, especially if you like Buck Rogers or Adam Strange, or even it reminded me a lot of did you ever read Rick Remender's Fear Agent?
No, I didn't catch that one.
I recommend that one for you. I think you would like it, especially the look of the character and the you know, kind of like very flawed, you know, but he also has like the backpack and, you know, or the jetpack, I mean, and, you know, everything like that. So it's an old Dark Horse book, I believe. It is like 5 trades of it, and it's actually really good. Yeah, so I'd say check that out. Yeah, we're almost like an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm gonna probably
flew by.
I know, it's like you get started talking here, and it's like we're good creators, and it just, you know what I mean? It just, you get lost in the talk of comics, you know. So, Mike, and you said you're focused on GunEngine Zero for now. Nothing different in the future, right? Or are you doing?
Well, I got that horror anthology that will definitely be coming out because it's
almost done.
So I'm just gonna do it anyway. But if this GunEngine Zero fails, I don't know. I may have to.
I hope it doesn't. I mean, I think you're off to a good start. Are you doing 30 or 60 days?
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
And then when did you? I don't know if I asked this. When do you project that the book will be in people's hands?
Well, because of everything that's going on, like
the paper thing is concerning.
I talked to a printer like just before I launched just to ask them to see if they had any problems, and they said that there is. They're like they're backed up like a couple months to getting certain papers in and stuff. So as far as that's concerned, I really don't know. That might delay things a couple months or something.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got the 6 pages already done. So and I haven't told anybody this yet, but originally the first issue was going to be 24 pages, but I've bumped it up to 28 pages.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think, you know, is Ian, I talked to Ian just like last week or something, and you know, told him about the schedule, and he said he was cleared up for this time being. I guess he's so he finished Mighty Mascots, and then there's going to be a lull before he starts again on the next issue.
Well, I just sent him the thumbnails and the script for issue 7 today. I don't know. He didn't tell me what he has going on, but I told him, like, you know, I can pay you every few weeks, so I pay for like 3 or 4 pages because until I launch my Indiegogo, I'm a little limited on funds as well. So I don't know if he's going to work it in between your book, and do yours 1 week and then mine another week or something like that. I don't know, but I know he's fast, so I'm not worried about one bit. Like if it takes
full-time artists, man, they have the ability to just juggle stuff. They can do some amazing things,
especially guys like this. He's work for hire, so he bangs things out and goes on to the next project immediately. And
they're fantastic too.
Yeah, so it's good to have guys really like
good.
that.
I work with other guys they've been a real headache with doing stuff. Like they'll start off and it's like, here's a page. Next day is another page, and then all of a sudden, like 4 weeks go by, I got nothing. It's like, what's going on, man? And it's like, I don't feel good. I'm kind of depressed. It's like, what?
Oh, that's the fun of dealing with artists. Drew, you had similar situations.
Oh yeah.
I know Johnny has.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Like my first mini series, like my artist, he did the first issue, got it done, and then he broke up with his longtime fiance after he finished issue 1, and it was like this downward spiral into like sadness, and it took about 6 months, and I said, dude, I gotta move on if you can't do the next issue. And finally I just had to give that ultimatum and just break it off. But it ends up being better. At the time when you're in that situation, you think, oh, I'm never gonna recover from this. It's like, but then you look back and it ends up being a better situation. I usually find. I don't know about you guys, or what's your thoughts? Or
yeah, I can see that. I've had artists that have fallen through like mid book, and you're just completely distraught. What am I going to do now? But then in the end, you find that artist that actually worked better for the book.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what happened to me. Johnny, that happened to you too, didn't it?
Several times.
Man.
The problem is sometimes you just get a little too trusting. Sometimes,
it is. Sometimes it's like
I like doing the handshake deal.
Yeah.
I like that. I prefer that. I don't like fucking paperwork. It's messy, right? And I just, because if you can meet somebody, look them in the eye, and be like, dude, let's do this, and I'll pay you, and you'll just produce the work, and we're good. Like, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, and then like when it gets to like, paperwork, and then they don't fulfill their end, it's like it's on you to now chase them, and you don't
want to be that guy. It's
contract.
Like,
I don't want to. I'm not a mob boss. I don't want to go chasing after people for shit.
You don't want to whack somebody,
Yeah, I don't want them to sleep with the fishes.
Break out your face.
Mafia, by the way.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Johnny?
I said there's no such thing as the mafia, by the way.
Awesome. But yeah, no, it's true. I think we've all been there, and I'm sure our audience has been there as well, whoever makes comics out there in the ether.
Much like we all want to come out the gate with our swinging epic, we've all been burnt by an artist at one point or another, right?
It's just part of the game. Like look, like even Marvel guys get burned by the artists. Like I just saw I've been buying I bought the first issue of that Jeff Lemire Swamp Thing book, and they're resoliciting it now because I guess the artist can't. I don't know if he's behind or something happened, so they canceled all the orders, and now they're going to resolicit later on. So it doesn't happen to just us guys, so it's like, so up the majors, it happens too. But yeah, no, since we're coming in on 90 minutes here, I figured I'd just wrap up here. So let's go around the room with plugs, and like let's Mike, what do you want to plug? Where can people find you?
All right, well, rainyroadmedia.com.
Okay.
That's a website. That's the best place, kind of like a hub, so you can find everything else: the Facebook, Instagram, the Kickstarter campaign. I have a Substack, rainyroad.substack.com, where I talk about all the production, all that kind of stuff. If you got the Alternative Comics Winter Campaign books, Look for the ad there.
Yeah,
I got him
look
in
at
there.
that. He's got an ad in my book. How cool is that?
Mighty Mascots, Lightning
Nice.
Log, Downcast, T-Bot and Throttle, T-Bird and Throttle. Yeah, so the main thing is just the Kickstarter campaign, this GunEngine Zero. It's a huge project for me, and I would really appreciate everybody just checking it out and at least considering backing it or just sharing the campaign. I appreciate Drew for his support. I noticed that.
Just backed you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, did you really? That's awesome, Drew. That's very cool. And I know I will be backing as well.
You better, man.
Yeah. And I would like to reiterate too that, if you like Mighty Mascots and you like Ian and Anton's art, it's going to be on this GunEngine Zero. And if you like anime stuff from the 80s, all the stuff we talked about, ROM Space Knight, Robotech, Battle of the Planets, Gundam, Guyver, like Guyver. Remember Guyver? Ultraman, yeah.
Ultraman. I love Ultraman.
So, I mean, how can you go wrong with that? It looks like a great book. And look at those previews pages on there. It's amazing. So definitely check out the Kickstarter from Mike's putting out.
Check it out.
Yeah. Drew, where can people find you? Where are you active? What do you got going on?
Best place for me is hop on my website, snowyworks.com. It's got all my links, has all the social media links. It's got a shop button at the top, which will take you to my big cartel site. I just loaded a bunch of new prints on there just recently. So if you want to get Caspian Porter 0 and 1 right now, you can go grab it off of there.
Yeah, definitely. I recommend that book. Go to the Indie Comics Relay YouTube channel and find the comic review. I did a review of it a while ago, like maybe a year or so ago.
I think I
showed a lot of the artwork.
Yeah, I think it was like April of last year, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And it has like I do take screenshots from the books and I throw it on my reviews so you can see some of the artwork. And just take a look. Drew does a great job, and it's just a great character, especially if you like sci-fi and like Buck Rogers and what else did we mention? There was so many like John Carter of Mars and Adam Strange, things like that.
Yeah, like
Flash Gordon.
Yeah, Flash Gordon,
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
This book's right up your alley. And then like look at his website. He's got a ton of anthologies, cool sci-fi. It's all sci-fi and horror and just stuff not just your typical superhero stuff. So check that out. It's awesome. So snowyworks.com. And I always also say for these two guys, go to their website and put your email in and get their newsletters, check out what they got going on. And Drew, when are you launching the next Kickstarter? July, you said?
Probably going to be early July.
Early July. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. And then, if they sign up for the newsletter, they'll obviously be alerted to that. Correct.
Yeah.
All
correct.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
So definitely sign up for the newsletters. All right. Perfect. Johnny, what you got going on, bud?
This weekend, find me in Fairhaven, Massachusetts at Monster Expo.
Yes, I forgot about that. Our good friend Joe Souza, who's running a horror convention up here in the New England area. Does a great job.
That's coming up this weekend. That should be very exciting. Aside from that, Amy in the chat said she felt attacked. I think that's coming from the perspective of being an artist. So even though we're all writers saying we've been burned by artists, we do love you. So please don't
hurt
attacked.
us.
Yeah, don't feel attacked. We love you, artists. You are half the lifeblood of the indie comics community. So please, by all means, don't take any of our comments as
and let me just say, can we just keep the show going till tomorrow so Amy forgets and I don't get yelled at as soon as I get off the stream?
And then lastly, I just want to thank our guests tonight for taking the time, coming on, sharing your creativity, sharing your projects. I'm definitely going to back both, and keep an eye out for you, your stuff, Drew. Thanks for taking the time to come on again. Appreciate it, and please come back for the future.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Same, Mike. And like I said, I'll be back in that very shortly. I definitely need to get that. All right, cool. And then lastly for me, I put up the pre-launch for Mighty Mascots 7, 8, and 9. So definitely go check that out. If you sign up for the pre-launch, you'll get a sticker if you back on the first week or whatever And I'm thinking about doing a C-Rat die cut stickers for the backers for the pre-launch. So check that out. There's a video
you be able to
there.
Get the other issues of Mighty Mascots? Because I'm missing issue 4.
You're missing issue 4. They'll probably be. I don't know if they'll be on the next Alterna campaign because I don't have anything Mighty Mascots there. But you can get it from my website. I think actually, do I have? DM me your address. I'll just send it to you because I think I sell them as 3. Like you buy 4, 5, and 6. You know, it makes more sense to mail them out that way. But DM me. I can send it to you. I can send you a copy.
On what?
On Twitter? Can you send it to me too?
Yeah. DM me, both of you guys on Twitter. Okay. Yeah, Twitter or you guys are both on Twitter, right?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. You're not.
He's not.
No.
He's not.
You have my email then?
He's not.
Yeah, I got your email.
Okay, yeah, email me then.
Okay, all right.
And give me your address, and then same with you, Drew. Get me your address, and I'll send you some stuff. All right, perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for joining the show. Like Johnny said, come back when you guys have stuff in the future. Try to hit me up a few months out so I can make sure we have a spot for you. And then, that's it. So if unless anyone has any final words, I'm going to wrap up this episode. Anyone?
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah. Read comics. Read indie comics.
Comics.
All right. Have a great night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right.
All right.
Bye,
see you
everybody.
guys. Bye.